talk about my experience living home with my parents at the age of 29, y'all. So my name is Taylor. I have 2 degrees. I'm a corporate professional and I'm also a content creator. I enjoy content creating way more. But anywho, in October of 2021, I decided to move back in with my parents after being in Dallas, Texas for 6 years on my own, y'all. Okay, so I was living my that girl lifestyle and I was just having, an apartment to myself, being able to pretty much do what I want. And I had full independence and control, I feel, over my life. But when COVID hit, y'all, my mental health also decreased. I stayed in the house a lot. And girl, I just felt like, why am I always like by myself? Like it had got like super depressing. And I was in a relationship like when I first moved to Dallas, but then I got out of that relationship. So at the end, it kind of became very lonely for me. I wasn't really seeing a lot of friends and different things like that towards the end of my journey in Texas. And one day I'm like, you know what? I think I just need to pack up and move, okay? So first of all, rent is very high in the Dallas area. So I was paying like basically $1,500 like to live in a super small apartment by myself. And like I said, I was by myself. I didn't have no dog. I didn't have anybody living with me. It was just very like quiet and just, I felt like I was always by myself. One day I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna go home so I can feel better and be closer to my family. And that's exactly what I did. I moved back to my hometown in Louisiana and I moved back in with my parents at the age of 27. And this was back in October of 2021. When I got here, I was so excited because one, I was finally around all my family members again, and I feel like I was there for all the family functions, and I feel like I am there for all the family functions now. So I feel like I'm not really missing out, and just being around my family, I think that was really good for my mental health and just not being alone and me being here in my parents' house. I feel safe and I feel like, I always have someone there. So yeah, so that's pretty much like the first advantage of living with my parents. Second advantage is, of course, y'all, I ain't gotta pay no rent. I don't pay no rent. And I have the type of parents that really strives to help me with any goals that I set for myself. So they're not like the type of parents that will, like ask me for money. If anything, they're like encourage me to like save my money. Now I do pay like the little electricity bill. That's like a little, I don't know, $100 bill that I have to pay each month, but I don't mind doing that because like I said, I'm living rent free. So I really don't have any expenses outside of that besides like my car note. But yeah, so that's pretty much that, y'all. So just saving a lot of money, living with my parents, like save money and stuff like that. It's easier to like pursue different things when it comes to like my passions and all the things like that. But I just wanted to kind of just start this conversation because I know there's a lot of people out there that live with their parents and they may not want to upload anything because they might feel like a failure. But I'm here to say do not feel like a failure because nothing is wrong with living with your parents. And also too, a girl left a comment on my YouTube channel and she was just basically saying like, I love how you made this into a positive thing. Like you didn't make this into a negative thing, moving in with your parents. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't, okay? Because at first, when I first moved back in with my parents, y'all, I was like, oh my God, I moved back. Like I moved back to my hometown. Like what are people gonna think? Like I'm a failure. Like I had all of these negative thoughts, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I really did. But then I quickly realized that, girl, you doing what you gotta do for you. You doing what's best for you and what's best for your future, y'all. So I have been living with my parents for the past like year and maybe like a year and like 4 months. I've been living with my parents and yeah, and I've been able to save money and I definitely want to save more money before moving out. But those are pretty much like the advantages of being home. And I wanted to make this video because I know that there are people out there, like I know it. I know there are people out there, but some people I think just may not want to talk about it because they see everyone glamorizing like the luxury apartments and all that, and I've been there, done that. And I'm definitely going to get to that point again, except this time I may explore other things like maybe getting a house, and getting rental properties and stuff like that before just, going back to just paying high paying rent. But that's just me. Everybody's journey is going to be different when it comes to things like that. But I definitely wanted to go ahead and open up this conversation and say, hey girl, you've reached the middle girl side of TikTok. So definitely make sure you guys follow me if you want me to make more videos. So now I'm pretty much going to talk about the disadvantages of living with your parents, okay, as an adult. So for one, I will say like as a 29-year-old woman, I definitely do crave my own space. So even though I live with my parents, at times I do crave my own space because me being at home, I feel like they just treat me like a little kid. And I don't feel like it's intentional. I just feel like it's like a natural thing that happens once you have kids, because I don't have no kids, y'all. So I don't know how it is to like, you know, raise a child and have a child. But my mom tells me that all the time. She's like, you're gonna see whenever you have a child how it is. But they really like spoil me, and they really try to treat me like a little kid. I realize sometimes like that I am 29 years old. Okay, so that's the first thing. So like moving back home, y'all, you may get treated like a child. The second thing is like, for me, you know, specifically, like I have parents that are not really like super stuck in their ways, but they do things a certain way. And when I do things, you know, they kind of give me like the little side eye, like, girl, you know, we don't do that like that. But it's like, what you talking about? Like, this is how I do it, because like I said, I've lived on my own for like 10 years. So I've already created like my own little routines and how I do different things. But here, it's different, you know, because it's like they don't do it a certain way, so they expect you to do the same thing that they do. So it's kind of like a little reality check, you know. So whenever you're trying to do things sometimes in the household, living with your parents as an adult, you know, they may want you to do things a certain way. And the third thing is just like the disadvantage is like, you have like your own personal space, which is like your own room. And if you have your own bathroom like I do, you know, that's good because it gives you kind of like, you know, your little space away. But I will say this, y'all, you still are in your parents' house. So, you know, when you walk into the kitchen, when you walk into the living room, you know, like you still see your parents and stuff like that. So it's kind of like you never can really get away from your parents if you are in the house. So that's something too that it's kind of like a disadvantage, you know. It's kind of like you're sharing a space with someone, so there's always going to be, you know, someone there. If you live with your parents, or you thinking about moving back with your parents, that's definitely something that I recommend just to keep in mind, because yeah, a lot of people like want their own space, but it's not like you don't really have your own space, y'all. Like seriously, like pretty much the disadvantages of like living at home with my parents, y'all. But I will say too, like, I love like traveling and like getting out of the house. Like I go, you know, to my boyfriend's house for a couple of days. You know, I like have my time to like get away. And I think that's very important, like whenever living with your parents, because that can help with you just kind of going out to get the space that you need. And not necessarily have to, you know, move out really quickly. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, all right, okay, it's been nice. Thank y'all for hosting me for a little over a year. But I think you girls ready to go again, y'all. I didn't even get to my hair yet. I just been doing too much talking and not really getting ready. But anyway, so I think this is all I'm gonna do, y'all. And this foundation right here, Dior. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Miss Dior. And then this Juvia's Place powder. Bomb. Okay, and let me put Shein on real quick, y'all. I got this Glam 101 from Shein. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but it basically comes with like a lip pencil side, and then it comes with like this matte lip gloss side. Well, I'm actually out of that one, but I could show y'all on this one that I have. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I use, y'all. So a nice little simple makeup look. And I do want to add just a little bit of contour. This is just a Sephora palette that I got. Boom. It's all dirty actually, but it's kind of gross. But oh, see, that looks way better. Look, that and that. This looks way better. It kind of gives you like an instant little lift. And I prefer powder contour over liquid. I don't know what it is, but I like powder contour now instead of liquid. So yeah, y'all, so I hope you guys have enjoyed the conversation. If you guys want some more real talk, let me know. Comment down below. Let your girl know what y'all want to see. And if you guys really like these chats, if y'all have any questions or any comments about, you know, moving back home with your parents, if maybe you have been in that situation, or, you know, if you're about to be in that situation, let me know. Just one of those days like this.